I had to repair relationships with family, you know, my father, uncles, you know. I'm a little guy, but my hustle back in the day is, you know, you might be bigger than me, but I could take your spirit, you know, I could crush your spirit, you know, intelligence is a dangerous thing if you don't use it well, or you don't use it in the way Allah plans, and having to go back and tell people, you know, I was wrong. We have a lot of Muslims that have fallen into a trap that, you know, we must apologize for everything we don't do, everything we do, everything we don't do. Now, you can't have it both ways. You know, my background as African American was, you know, if you ain't do it, act like you didn't do it. It's not attitude. I ain't do it. You ask me, like customs, you have narcotics? I'm gonna tell you one time, no. You asked me 3 other times, well, now it's an issue. It started out, you know, and I think that the health or the healthiness or healthy aspects of Islam get convoluted because we deal with situations and scenarios that, if you stop and think about it, are all invented. They're all invented, man. You can say something about, even in our community, you can say something about somebody in our community is totally unfounded, and it'll grow a life of its own, you know? But it's just like people, you know, it's easy to do. It's hard to investigate. You know, my becoming a Muslim my being a Muslim and remaining a Muslim is that at the the base value of it, or just the base level, it's just that every day I wake up, you know, Allah puts it on me that you got to investigate your environment. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, talk about converts or whatever, you know, it's a lot to come from one lifestyle and give it up and do something totally different. And you know it's no reward at the end of it, like a physical reward. You know, I mean, that's like I know some of the most hardcore guys that have come to Islam. You know, you see them, and if you had a gun, you go for the gun, you go for your gun, and then you see these cats. And I'm like, something's wrong with this cat, man. You know, what's going on? You know, one of the hardest of the hardcore guys, this guy named Big Percy. You know, I call him spiritual Muslim, because he knows all this stuff and he's working things out. So Big P, if you see him, don't put your business out there. But he was the hardest of the hard, man. And he came to me one day, man. He said, "Man, I want to talk to you about something." You know, it's like it's real personal. I was thinking he's gonna say, you know, I'm gay, and I was like, oh man, you know. But he said something that struck me even more profound. He said, "Man, you know what? I'm trying to learn about this religion, you know, Islam." I'm like, Big P's bowing down to Allah. Said, this is a powerful thing right here, you know. And it was him that said, you know what, brother, you need to go get a Quran, man. And it's no joke, man. I was a working comic then, and could tell you how to make people laugh, but I couldn't tell you why I was here, which is always a scary thought, man, to be someplace and really know deep in your heart that you don't have a purpose. You know, it's empty, man. It's tough. So the jokes filled in that void, because it was funny. Because the bigger the void was, the funnier I was as a comic. You know, and then doing End of Racism, which was a homage to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then I was comfortable with End of Racism because I was able to give dawah my own way. And then, you know, Allah taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Listen, you've seen the news reports. What you gonna do for your folks?" You know, it's a moving aspect that somebody can teach you something with no agenda outside of they want you to be a better person or better contributor. So my aspects on like Islam and growth, they may not be the most scholarly depth, and you know, they may lack a lot of Arabic language, but the one thing it doesn't lack is sincerity. The thing is, you know, you Muslim, I mean, you gotta have, you know, a 14-inch piece of mishwak falling out of your mouth, or, you know, you got to have, you know, I call them Islamic, you know, garanimals, Egyptian hat and a Turkish vest, and Saudi boots, and, you know, nothing matches, you know, and they don't know anything about the deen, but they're willing to tell you what they don't know as fact. I mean, you just can't have it both ways. But I think it comes down to the fact that this religion is beautifully, strategically simple. And if you can remain on that simple path, if you can say a word with one syllable as opposed to 25 syllables, people get it. People get it. You want to be accepted or respected. Acceptance is temporary, has a lot of conditions. You're going to respect me, and I can take respect because whether you like me or whether you don't like me, you still going to respect me. And I think, for the Muslims really dealing with these different cultures and stuff, great quote, old school, grandfather used to say it was, the worst lie you can ever tell is the lie you tell yourself. And that's the one that you begin. You have to unburden yourself from that. And in some regards, the Muslim community wants to be progressive, but at some point in time, we're going to have to go back and look at some of these mistakes and be big enough to correct them and then move forward and have, a solid platform or realistic agenda for these people, for people to follow, not just as Muslims, but as non-Muslims. And it has to do with core values that tie into everybody else. The first thing that happens, like a 9/11, it's everybody's questioning your core values based on this person. Well, I don't know this person. I don't live in a cave. I don't do none of that. I ain't fired no rocket launchers. I ain't been trained by the CIA. His experience is totally different from mine. We could say that, but weak-mindedness will, people will allow, this vision over here to be the main thought. Meanwhile, the real business is happening down here, I mean, I've gotten better now. When I was a young Muslim, man, I was rough because you say something about Allah, you say something about Prophet Muhammad, I'm ready to, I'm ready to put you in a headlock or something like that. And won a large percentage of my fights, I might add. But look, the fact of the matter is, do I really want to indulge your level of silliness or insincerity? And the answer is no.